Hi, this is Mike McCarthy. Welcome to my digital portfolio presentation of my coursework and professional experience while an MPP candidate at UMass Dartmouth. I approached the Masters of Public Policy program from sort of a non-traditional avenue, and I feel that the program's design allows students like myself to do so pretty seamlessly. During my final year as an undergrad, while I was finishing a degree in English, I had a feature writing course, and one of the assignments was to interview somebody who ran a program on campus. At the time, the Urban Initiative was doing a series of presentations on sustainable cities and the urban environment, so I contacted Colleen DeWicki, the program manager, to see if we could set aside some time to talk about it. Over the course of our conversation, which went way over the time that I'd asked Colleen to set aside for me, it became clear to me that the things, my interests that were driving me towards a career in journalism overlapped with a lot of the Urban Initiative mission, which was to provide objective information to policymakers and build community capacity in the gateway cities of Massachusetts, one of which was New Bedford, which is my hometown. I had seen over my lifetime the city go through sort of a revitalization. I felt when I was done with school, I wanted to be able to contribute to that in some way. So when I found out that summer that the Urban Initiative was going to be hiring for an undergraduate research assistant, I jumped at the opportunity. And I feel like over my time there as an undergrad, I was exposed to the research process. I was engaged with local policymakers and community advocates, and I was able to provide the community I care about with objective information that was thoroughly researched so they could make decisions about the future. Additionally, I was able to interact with graduate research assistants who were enrolled in the MPP program, as well as professors and staff at the Center for Policy Analysis. All those people were helpful and very encouraging while I weighed the decision whether or not to apply for the program. As I noted earlier, I applied for the program while I was finishing a bachelor's degree in English. During my final semester, I took a few sociology and political science courses to try and expose myself to key concepts and theories in those fields because I knew a lot of my classmates would be entering from those majors. But in POL 500, I feel like I gained an understanding of the policymaking process, and I began to learn how policies were formed and how actors in different policy arenas can learn from innovations elsewhere. And I think that concept in particular stayed with me and informed my decision on what to research for the Applied Research Seminar. Public management and program evaluation really exposed me to the importance of street-level bureaucrats and their managers, and how these are the people that are really essential for post-implementation effectiveness of a policy. I also learned how oversight and continued engagement with these stakeholders is crucial for achieving policy goals. In program evaluation, I gained an understanding of underlying theories which guide evaluation. Having conducted program evaluations as a research assistant, I now had an appreciation for the techniques that were deployed by the research teams that I was a part of. And this is an area of applied research that I enjoy. I found my interest enhanced by the development of an evaluation proposal for this course. In research methods, I really began to gain a full understanding of how to develop a research plan and the value of a mixed methods approach. For this course, I proposed a comparative analysis of emerging adult use marijuana policies in Colorado, Washington, Alaska, and Washington, D.C., and with the deliverable being a heuristic for policymakers to evaluate which reforms are the most successful. This research directly informed my project for the Applied Research Seminar as well. Like I said, I did have a little bit of exposure to sociology and political science as an undergrad, but I had no exposure to economics. So microeconomics and state and local public finance were really useful because I was able to learn the basic concepts of economic theory, but within the context of public policy. In state and local finance in particular, I examined Rhode Island's economic revitalization strategies, and this had a direct relation to a project on the economic impact of a revitalized commercial corridor in New Bedford that I was doing for the Urban Initiative at the time. During my second to last semester, I took policy analysis and statistical analysis at the same time, and I thought when I was reviewing the syllabi that this had been a major mistake. I quickly learned, though, once I could get the reading under control and set a schedule for myself, that the concepts discussed in the statistical textbook connected directly to the frameworks and the research that I was reading in policy analysis. I also think that taking these courses at once helped cultivate my research proposal for the applied research seminar and take what I had proposed in research methods and turn that into an event history analysis of the diffusion of marijuana reform policies. I also really enjoyed administrative law. It's kind of a unique course because I don't think when you're thinking about the policymaking process a lot, you don't think about the administrative laws that kind of bound that process and shape the actions those charged with enforcement and implementation have to take. I really enjoyed the hypotheticals in this course because I think they took the abstract legal concepts and gave a real-world case to work on. For the applied research seminar, I further developed my proposal for statistics, and I'll discuss the event history model later on in this presentation. My matriculation into the program coincided with the combination of the Center for Policy Analysis and the Urban Initiative to create the Public Policy Center. I've worked there as an undergraduate research assistant. As part of that team, I was able to participate in more in-depth research that looked beyond southeastern Massachusetts. I was able to interact with state officials and policymakers, conduct evaluations for community organizations, and research issues for towns outside of the region. This helped expand my understanding of the policymaking process and allowed me to contribute to solving complex public problems through applied research. This experience has complemented my coursework and given me the opportunity to apply concepts introduced in the classroom. I believe that because of that and the coursework, I will be able to leave the MPP program with a valuable set of skills that will allow me to start a career as a policy researcher or a policy analyst. For my applied research project, I developed my event history model. It's adapted from survival analysis, which is often used in medical science to determine what factors lead to the death of a subject. For my purpose, the risk of death is the risk of policy adoption at the state level. And since my unit of analysis is the state year, my model looks at all states in the country from 2000 to 2015 in order to determine what factors contribute to the adoption of marijuana reform policies. I use the adoption of marijuana decriminalization, medical marijuana, and adult use policies as a dependent variable. For states that have adopted, this dependent variable is set to 1, but prior to adoption it's 0. So it's a dichotomous variable that changes the year that the state adopts the policy. After refining my model, I determined the best set of independent variables was prior year gross state product and tax revenue, marijuana usage rates among the voting age population, the presence of direct democracy in the form of ballot initiatives or referendums, the political ideology of citizens in state government, and the diffusion of marijuana reform policies in neighboring states. While I'm still developing this model with Professor Angeloff in hopes of publication after graduation, a preliminary logit regression analysis has revealed that usage rates, lag tax revenue, and neighbor adoption and access to ballot initiatives or referendums are major contributing factors to whether or not a state will adopt a marijuana policy reform in a given year. Thank you very much for viewing my portfolio presentation. For more information on my coursework and the courses that I took while in the MPP program, you can follow the link to that page. And for more information on my experience as an undergraduate and graduate research assistant, you can follow the link to my CV. Thank you very much.